In this video we're going to look at interpreting bar charts. So I'm not going to draw any bar charts in this video, so you should check out another video if you're looking to know how to draw bar charts. First example we're going to look at is a comparative bar chart, like so. So in this bar chart we're told that it's the number of miles that Paula and Rose ran from Monday to Friday in a week. Note that Paula is this darker box, whereas Rose is the whiter one. Rose runs further than Paula on Monday. How much further? So again, Rose is this whiter box. Rose ran 6, and we're finding that just by using this vertical axis here. So your frequency is always on the vertical axis, and that's telling me she ran 6 miles. And Rose, on the other hand, only ran 3 miles. So the difference there was 3 miles. Part B, Rose ran 6 miles on Thursday, but we can see from the chart actually that we don't have a bar for that. Use this information to complete the bar chart. Rose, oh sorry, that's the second one. So we need to complete a bar for this. We're told that she runs 6 miles, so my bar needs to go up to the 6, which is here. And what I do need to do is shade it in as well, similar pattern to before, like so. And that is Rose's bar chart, or Rose's bar for Thursday completed. Part C. Rose is not going to run on Saturday. How many miles would Paula have to run on Saturday so the number of miles she runs from Monday to Saturday is the same as the number of miles that Rose runs from Monday to Saturday? So what we need to do first is find out how much have they ran so far. So we're told that on Monday, so we got Paula, she's ran 3. She's ran 5, that's 8, plus 6 is 14, plus 7 is 21, plus another 4 is 25. So she's ran 25 miles so far, and that's just from Monday to Friday. I'm guessing so that Rose has ran a little bit more than the 25. Rose has done 6, 4, so that's 10, another 6 is 16, another 6 is 22, and on the Friday she did 8, 22 plus 8 is 30. So Paula, she's going to run on Saturday. She needs to run another 5 miles so that she ran the same as Rose. And that's it complete. So the main things to know from that is that if you want to find a frequency, you need to use the vertical axis. So in this case, we've got our number of miles on the side here. And when you do come to drawing it, that's why it's so important you do label each of the axes and give it a title as well. Here's the second question. So we're told, here's a bar chart showing the number of goals scored in a game of football. By a football team in a season. So on the vertical axis we've got our frequency, so that would be games. The number of goals scored in each of those games is down here. We've got A and B. Have a go at this question for yourself, see how you do. Pause the video now. Okay, hopefully you've done well on this one. A, what is the modal number of goals scored? Modal is just another word for mode, okay? So note that for yourself if you didn't know it. And mode we know is the most. So what's the most common here in terms of scoring goals? Well, there were 7 occasions, 7 games where this team scored no goals. There was 8 games where they scored 1. We're looking for the highest bar, which is the 2 goals. So more often than not they got 2 goals in the game, which was 12. They got 12 of them. So the mode is 2, or 2 goals. It's the most common scoring that they did do. Part B, work out the total number of goals. were scored in total by the team. So this one's a little bit more complicated. So in terms of games and goals, here we've got, there were 7 games where they scored 0 goals. There were 8 games where they scored 1 goal. There were 12 games where they scored 2 goals. 3 games they got 3 goals. And finally there were 6 games where they got 4 goals. So we just take one of these, for instance. Let's take the 12 games actually. In 12 games they scored 2 goals. How many goals in total did they score in those 12 games? Well, you'd multiply. So that'd be 24. And we do the same for the rest of them. 8 multiplied by 1 is obviously 8. On this one, there were 7 games where they scored 0 goals. So actually the total goals scored there must be 0. And then lastly, we've got 9 and 24. Now what it's asked for is work out the total number of goals scored by that team. So we want a total. So we need to add all these up. 24 and 24 would be 48. 8 and 9 would be 17. So there's 64 goals in total. That's how we'd look at that. And finally, let's try one more on interpreting bar charts. So, on this one, here's a bar chart showing the average maximum monthly temperature in Greenwich in England. So, on the frequency, on the vertical axis, we've got the temperature in degrees, and along the bottom we've got our months. Here are the average monthly temperatures in October, November and December. So you've got the 3 of those there. It's asking us to complete the bar chart. You've got 2 more questions at the bottom. So what I'll do is actually pause the video now and see how you're doing it. Right, so we want to draw in the bars for October, November and December. October, it's 16 degrees. Note that there's gaps between these bars as well, so we need to keep those gaps. And we need to go all the way up to 16 with our bar. And that's what your bar will look like. Make sure to follow the same pattern as before, like so. And there's your 16. So November was 11. So I want to come up roughly halfway between 12 and 10. And lastly, December was 8 degrees. Make sure you are using ruler and pencil as always whenever you draw a diagram. And that's my bar chart complete. So again, gaps in between them as previously, and making sure you're coming up to those right frequencies. Double check it every time. Part B. In which 2 months were the highest average temperatures recorded? So if we're looking for highest, we are literally looking for the highest bar in here. And there's 2 of them. So we're looking at these 2 bars here, which correspond with July and August, which is no surprise. Give us the summer months. And lastly, work out the range of average monthly temperatures. So range, hopefully you recall, is the biggest, subtract the smallest value. So the highest value, I could take either one of July or August, but it is halfway between 22 and 24. So we've got 23, subtract the smallest. So there was 2 months here. You had January and December were both the same. They're both 8s. So we've got 23, subtract 8. So our answer is 15. That is the range. And that is how you interpret bar charts. Remembering again that your answers in most cases will come from those vertical axes. That is your frequency. Thank you to Olivia Scott for requesting this video.